Welcome back to the My 98.3 Monroe Bank and Trust Economic Update. From Monroe's hometown station, I'm Ryan Nutter, alongside President and CEO of Monroe Bank and Trust, Doug Chafin. Doug, good
Ryan,
to see you.
Good to see you again.
All right, so what is the latest on the economic front?
Well, unemployment rates are still hovering around 8% locally and in the state of Michigan, but total employed workers are up from a year ago. So we continue on that slow, steady improvement that we've talked about over the last several months and probably for the last year and a half. Property values continue its slow improvement. We conducted an auction of some residential and commercial properties here at the bank about a week ago. It was very well attended, and the values were pretty much what we expected. So again, that slow, steady improvement. Some very positive announcements of the last 2 or 3 days in southeast Michigan in general. And even though we don't always associate ourselves with the city of Detroit here in Monroe, what happens with Detroit really affects us in many ways. General Motors was recently added to the Standard & Poor's 500 and the S&P 100 indexes after about a 4-year hiatus. And as a result of that, their stock hit a 52-week high just yesterday. The federal government, has an interest in GM, as many people know, and we all want to see it become independent again of the federal government. And they'll probably start divesting themselves of their interest beginning in 2014 if this trend continues. So that's all good news. U.S. domestic auto makers in general showed some really good results in May. They beat analyst expectations with about an 8% improvement in sales over a year ago, and they're tracking at about a 7 to 8% sales improvement from a year ago throughout 2013. And that's good news because the trends have been pretty positive for the last couple of years with auto sales. Closely related to that is an index called the Southeast Michigan Purchasing Managers Index. Like a lot of these polling indexes, anything over 50 is considered positive and growth. That's a group of purchasing managers with manufacturers, primarily the auto industry again. And that index hit a 61 in May, which was an extremely positive number to begin with, but it was a great increase from 55 in April. So really good trend. In fact, it's probably the best May since 2007. So that's really, really good numbers, especially for us here locally. Real estate development in downtown Detroit just continues to go well. Huffington Post termed it as booming, believe it or not. And I think in many ways it is. There's a number of projects, multi-use projects, a combination of multifamily and retail projects in Midtown. Downtown, of course, you've got individuals like Dan Gilbert making investments in hotels and various other projects that get good news. Whole Foods Grocery just announced a brand new facility, and their plans to build a brand new facility in downtown Detroit. And of course, Henry Ford Health Systems announced a $500 million investment in their facility downtown. So a lot of good news for the region, Detroit in particular, but very good regional news for us, I think.
It's the My 98.3 Monroe Bank and Trust Economic Update. Doug, there seems to be a lot going on locally as well.
You know, it just continues. I think local municipalities and public and private organizations have decided that the worst is behind us, and we're looking forward to long-term planning and dealing with this new reality and showing some good initiatives. Resilient Monroe is a collaboration between the City of Monroe, Monroe County, Monroe Charter Township, and Friendstown Township. It's a project targeted toward long-term collective planning for those organizations, and that's in full swing right now. Monroe County Community College has, of course, their new Career Technology Center, which they're now fully occupying. Classes, I think the first classes will start this fall. That's good, and of course they just announced recently a new community college president, Dr. Carte, which everyone's real excited about, and seems to be a dynamic individual. And of course, the Monroe County Business Development Corporation and Monroe County Economic Development Corporation collaborated on this new streamlining guide over the last year or so. And we had a board meeting with the Business Development Corporation this morning, and it seems that requests for information from potential employers has really increased over the last several weeks. So that's good news, and that's encouraging news. We've got other organizations like the Port of Monroe with a new executive director, dynamic young man who's really hit their ground running. good planning with that organization. The River Raisin National Battlefield Park Foundation was recently formed, and they're focusing on development in and around the national park that we have as that grows and that potential grows. And of course, Lazy Boy Corporation announced its new corporate headquarters here in Monroe, and groundbreaking, I think, is a couple of weeks away for that project. So all good news.
What else is going on?
Well, of course, here at Monroe Bank and Trust, things continue to go well, and we're seeing a good result as an effect of the economy, local economy improving. Back in May, we kicked off our annual customer appreciation project that we've done at various branches, where I grill for our customers. I think we're calling it Grilling with Doug, and that was kicked off last month with about 150 people coming by for a free hot dog. Next Friday, June the 14th, is our next appreciation. It's going to be at our Bedford office from 11 to 2 o'clock. And Bedford's at Lewis Avenue for those of you that aren't familiar with it. And if you're in Bedford Township, please stop by. If you're not in Bedford Township and you're among the groupies that follow me on these, stop by and I'll give you a free hot dog.
All right. Thank you so much, Doug. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan.
It's the My98.3 Monroe Bank and Trust Economic Update. Stay tuned to My983.com for the latest.